We watched the Venom movie because I wanted to watch it. And I'm on this kick lately of watching the Spider-Man movies. Because the Spider-Man movies showed up on Disney Plus finally, except for No Way Home, which I bought anyway, but I'll talk about it. Like the Spider-Man movie showed up on Disney Plus finally. So I was like, I'm gonna watch these movies that I haven't watched. There's a whole bunch of them that I didn't watch. And because I was kind of sick anyway this week, like a good week to just like sit back and watch a bunch of movies. So I watched a bunch of movies. And I was like, I have so many opinions that I just want to like I want to tier list the Spider-Man movies. And like talk about them because I have thoughts, okay? So I found this tier list. See if I get this to load. See if I get this to load. I did. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I found this tier list that's like, this is correct. Like this has all the movies, but for some reason it has them twice. Like it's got like dupe. It's got like dupes. I need BGM or else I'm gonna have like speaker noises. Let's get a little too loud with it. There we go. Now that we're not listening to Goat in my car anymore. I need spider music. Spider music. You know, this is the spider-friendly channel. We talk about spiders here sometimes on the channel. I might be a little too quiet. Oh well, it's not bad. Talk about spiders on this channel. Spider-friendly channel. But yeah, I watched a lot of movies last week because I didn't feel good, so I'm just kind of just sitting around watching movies. And I thought I'm gonna watch like almost all of the Spider-Man movies, like almost all the Spider-Man movies that exist. Of course, I had seen like old ones, so I didn't rewatch the old ones. But, like I hadn't seen almost any of the newer ones at all. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna watch I'm gonna watch the new one that came out, like the Mysterio one. And then I'm gonna watch the other one, and then I watched the three Spider-Mans one, and then the three Spider-Man one ended with a teaser for Venom, and I was like, shit, I haven't watched Venom. I should watch Venom. So we watched it on the Discord on Sunday, and we watched Venom 2. So now I've seen almost every Spider-Man movie, except I haven't seen the second Andrew Garfield one yet, because I didn't watch that one yet. Thought about watching it today, but I was kind of burnt out on watching movies, and I ended up watching the news instead. I was just like, want to watch the news. Oh, watch the DNC. I don't want to talk politics, but watched a little bit. While I was kind of recovering from my latest migraine. The old ones are good. Like I like these old ones. But then like I have really strong opinions about the newer ones. So when we were talking about like Deadpool stuff, or when we were watching Venom, like in the chat, we were like bringing up movies, like the other Spider-Man movies, and it was like I'm not gonna ruin this buzz by talking about the movies that I don't like. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about movies I don't like for like an hour. And you let me know if you disagree with my opinion about movies. And then after like maybe about 10 o'clock or so, I'm gonna learn how to play Dead by Daylight. I've never played Dead by Daylight before. I've had it for a long time. I've owned it for a long time. I booted up the bots, like the tutorial, and I was not very good at it at all. So maybe they'll actually show me how to play it more good, but right now I have no clue what I'm doing. I know how to walk around in it and stuff, but like playing as a killer I kind of get, but playing as a survivor, it's like, oh no, I'm so slow and weak, please. I can't do anything and now I've been stabbed. So one thing that's weird about this tier list is that it's dupes. I don't know. I like this one because like it has all of the movies that I wanted to talk about, but for some reason it has them all twice, which I don't know why it has them all twice. But we'll just pretend it doesn't, and we'll just talk about these movies because I want to talk about the Spider-Man movies, okay? So first of all, I'm just gonna say, like, I really like the OG Spider-Man movies. I do think 2 is a little better than 1, like, if you had to rank them. Yeah, it has them all there twice for some reason. I don't know why. Like, they're duped. I don't know why. A bunch of them are just dupes. This seems like they just screwed up the tier list. And I just grabbed this tier list, like, off the. I was looking at the Shoemaker, like I need one that has all the movies, and I couldn't figure out how to like delete the duplicate ones from here, and I was like, fuck, that's not that big of a deal. It does what it needs to do for me to just have this conversation about these movies. I really do like the first two movies. I do think the second one's a little bit better than the first one, just because Doc Ock is like super good. But they're good. They're good, solid movies. And what, like, at the time, like, it might be hard to think about this now, but they had done like the X-Men movies, and they were like, "Oh, you're not going to wear yellow spandex in a movie. Why would we put our characters in the outfit? It looks like the outfit that they wear in the comic book." And then Spider-Man, they finally did. They were like, "Let's just put him in the actual Spider-Man outfit. It looks dope." And I guess they were a little bit less afraid to do it because it's like red and blue, or like red and they kind of did like a navy, so it looks good on camera. But I know that they were like originally superhero movie. How are we gonna put a character in tights? So it was a really good superhero suit. And it was like one of the earliest like CGI, CGI spider. Yeah, I know you couldn't, but you could think that they would probably be cowards about it. So they're really good movies. I don't think anybody would disagree that those are really good movies. Especially the second one. The second one has a lot of great moments. So I like these films a lot. I kind of just have a soft spot in my heart for them. They're good flicks. This was like, I think 2001 actually. Like, wasn't it like right around, like, wasn't it like right after 9/11, like 2002? And like they had to erase stuff from the movie because 9/11 happened. Yeah, Sam Raimi. Yeah, exactly. Sam Raimi like directed good movie, and like the Green Goblin is fucking epic, and Doc Ock is fucking epic. So like Sam Raimi did a good job with these. And then like Spider-Man 3 is just kind of a meme movie, right? Because it's great for the memes, but it's not actually that good compared to the other two. It's kind of a dorky movie because they just try to fit too much shit into it. But evil Spider-Man memes are hilarious, so it still rules. But like, it's kind of a meme flick, right? But I like it, but not like it's not like they just try to pack too much shit into it, so it's not like objectively good, right? So the order in which like I've watched these other films, you see there's dupes because I'm like, oh yeah, Spider-Man, right? Okay, fine. The order in which I watch these films, like, obviously the first Spider-Verse movie, this is Into the Spider-Verse, right? The first one is like dope as shit, like a really really good movie. Like I would probably like be like it's tops, like it's super fucking good movie. Like it's colorful, it's beautiful, characters designs are good, the music is good. They got like good music drops in this film. Like I don't think anybody has any quarrel with this movie, right? Like this one's really cool. I don't like the second Spider-Verse movie. I straight up don't like it. Like, and I've said this before because this came up like when we were talking about Venom, because I think Super was like, how did Miguel manage to get blah 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 blah? And I'm like, well, the plot of a second Spider-Verse movie makes no sense at all. It's pretty, it's an attractive movie. The characters are cool in it, and they do cool stunts, and there's a second Spider-Verse movie. Yeah, it's not even good. But I'm alone in saying that because I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes and it's got like a 98% Rotten Tomatoes. How you doing tonight, Robert Tables? How's it going? Talk about my weekend. You might have missed me talking about the Porch concert, but now I'm talking about Spider-Man movies because I had dug up my butt because I want to talk about the Spider-Man movies because I watched them all like over the last couple weeks. And I just want to like talk about the ones that like I have strong opinions about, which is I didn't like the second Spider-Verse movie. We watched it. We have a home theater now. It's in our basement, and it's super nice. That's surround sound, and like, yeah, I'm glad you're here, Frankie, because Frankie, I know also like Frankie's already heard my second Spider-Verse movie rant, and is like, yeah, I get it, but like, it's fine. It's fine. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Obviously I'm in the minority here. Obviously, I'm in the minority because everybody that like the Rotten Tomatoes on the second movie is like 98%. But I have two problems with the movie. First thing is, I'm gonna just spoil it. It doesn't have an ending. It ends on a 1,000,000% cliffhanger. It just stops in the middle of a scene. And it's like, watch next movie. Which I don't like. I think even if you're gonna drop Like, okay, you're doing a trilogy, like Empire Strikes Back, right? Empire Strikes Back. You're 80% of the way to new teeth. Oh my gosh, get new teeth. Good luck. Good luck with your teeth. Important too. Get some painkillers. I know. I need some painkillers. My God. My God. Yeah, it just stops. It just, like, at this point, like, it's a spoiler for me to say that, but I also feel like I should just warn people because I wasn't expecting it to not end at all. It just literally in the middle of a scene stops. Oh, cliffhanger. See you in the next movie. Which is exhausting. And you know, this is a Sony movie. This is not a MCU Marvel Universe movie. But having shotgunned like a shitload of Marvel Universe movies, because like I saw Wolverine and Deadpool, and I could argue with your overall point that the terrible Spider-Man stories since your Spider-Man Bards who did make me mad for 10 years. No, I agree. I get it. I mean, Spider-Man has been worse than Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man has been bad. One of these days, I'm going to do a Ben Reilly stream. I love that motherfucker. He does show up in Spider-Verse, which is cool. But like it's like a cameo because the whole movie is cameos, pretty much. Like just cameo after cameo after cameo. And like Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of the same. Like it has a lot of that cameo energy. You're marveled out. Yeah, well I watched like too many of them in a row, so I was like, oh, there's so many Marvel movies. But like all these Marvel movies of this last phase have like a lot of fan service. And I really, really, really like Deadpool and Wolverine because the fan service that they did was kind of really tongue-in-cheek. Like, this is so, like, is this stupid that we're doing this kind of vibes? But also, like, they did a good job with the stuff they took seriously. Like having the evil mutants, they took that really seriously, like, weirdly enough, and it was really good. But I also think it's, like, all about the pacing. Because the pacing of that movie didn't drop completely flat, which I'm going to talk about later because I'm talking about No Way Home. But like pacing didn't drop completely flat to like stop showing the movie to do the fan service. They kept the movie going. But I really think that like those movies are held together pretty well by like Ryan Reynolds giving a shit about the actual comics and just kind of like driving that with that. But so Across the Spider-Verse has the same thing where it's like there's a lot of cameos and there's like a lot of quick cuts. Like, hey, remember that guy? Hey, remember that guy? That's a joke that you could like. Those parts are fun. But yeah, those parts are fun. But the story of it doesn't make any sense. Like, I guess, like, all these Spider-Mans from all across all the Spider universes. Not every Spider-Man, obviously, because, like, Andrew Garfield isn't in Across the Spider-Verse because he's in a different Spider universe. There isn't a Ryan Reynolds in the Spider-Verse there. No, there's not, like, one guy who's, like... There's not, like, one guy holding it down, I guess you could say. So that kind of complicates things a little bit. Because there's like Ryan Reynolds just holding Deadpool down. Like he's just like, this is the character I'm going to play for the rest of my life now. Whereas we've got like multiple people doing Spider-Mans. But like there's multiple different Spider-Mans, so that part makes sense. Spider-Verse 2 makes even less sense the incredibly complex yeah, it does. It doesn't make much sense. Like, oh well, all these Spider-Mans have a secret spider society. Which, okay, I'm on board with secret spider society. Look at me, I got the whole spider theme. We're talking about spiders today, folks. All these Spider-Mans have like a secret spider society, and they keep out certain. The Council of Ricks is the Council of Ricks. It's exactly what it is. And we're keeping down the spider. But we're headed by fascist Spider-Man. Okay, well, all right, fascist Spider-Man, and like all you Peter Parkers are okay with this. Like not a single one is like, yeah, that's our buddy fascist Spider-Man. You know, he means well. Okay. No, you didn't like Venom? I did. I'm gonna talk about it. Well, wait. Do you mean Do you mean this? Do you mean this? Do you mean this one? Spider-Man 3? That original Venom? Or do you mean Venom? Like the Venom movie? Because that Venom movie beats ass. This one's very mid. This one's very mid-tier movie. It's funny, but it's mid-tier. The first one, yeah, okay. So no, I didn't like this movie. And I felt like I was gaslit because I like went on the line and it was like 98%. And I'm like, that movie is complete nonsense. It's beautiful visually. It doesn't end and the story doesn't make any sense. Now, will I watch the third one? Yeah, but I'm definitely not seeing it in the theater because we have a home theater. Yeah. Well, I don't know if critics can just like follow if a movie has a plot that makes any sense whatsoever. Here's the plot of this movie. Miles wants to join the secret spider society. Gwen teases to him that there's a secret spider society, but says he's not cool enough to join the Turtle Club. And then he finally joins the Turtle Club, and then he realizes the Turtle Club is led by fascists. And there's also Spider-Punk, who is really cool, but you can't fucking understand what he's saying because he has a British accent and speaks a Cockney slang. It's like partially rhyming slang, and I don't know what the fuck he's saying. So, like, if you go to, if you watch Deadpool and Wolverine, Gambit is in it. And Gambit says, like, all this shit in this deepest Cajun accent, and you can't understand him. And then Deadpool's like, did you run that by me again? I feel like I'm missing important exposition. And I need somebody else to explain what's going on. Because it's like a joke. Because Gambit has a thick Cajun accent, you can't understand him sometimes. And they did that on purpose. So, like, it's a bit. But it's good, because Gambit should talk like that. Like, he's supposed to talk like that. But in Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Punk has this thick Cockney accent that I couldn't understand what he was saying. And he delivers important lines. And at no point does somebody go, I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what dialect you're speaking, but I do not speak it. Could you run that by me again in regular English, please? Like if somebody did that as a bit, I would be like, okay, thanks. But I didn't understand what he was saying. And also, like, if he's like a punk, which obviously is not going to be cool with Spider-Fash, how come the punk Spider-Man, it took Miles to show up and be like, hey, maybe this guy's not so good. Oh, you're right. Oh, okay, I'm gonna rebel now. Why did it take you so fucking long? I don't understand. You're literally Spider-Punk. Why wouldn't you have rebelled immediately? Like, to put aside the fact that no Peter Parker thought this was a bad idea. It's so dumb. Oh, Miles is like, he seems to not overbite. Yeah, it's not clear. Exactly. Why would he care? Why would he follow Miguel? Miguel is like a fucking fascist. And Spider-Punk is like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just part of Miguel's team for some reason. And then Miles Morales shows up and is like, you know, you probably shouldn't be. And all of a sudden Spider-Punk is like, you're right. I think I should leave and rebel. But you're a punk. Why wouldn't you have done that in the first place? Why wouldn't Peter Parker have done that in the first place? It's so dumb. I didn't like this movie. Oh, I didn't like it. So if anybody, I don't know. And people raved about it, and I don't know. I don't know what. Like if the third movie happens, and like turns out there was like some mass brainwashing circuit, or a magic spell was cast or something, which we'll talk about that in a second. But like if that's the thing, like I will forgive the movie. But as is, it requires like 200 alternate versions of Spider-Man to all be stupid idiots for the plot of this movie to work. And I just don't buy it. We didn't say no Homer, we said no Homers. We didn't say no Miles. We said no Mileses. Oh, okay. And Miles Morales is the only good Spider-Man. And there's, I don't know how many Spider-Mens they show in the movie. I'd have to count, but there was at least hundreds of them, and they were all fucking idiots except for one. Even Spider-Punk, who should have been like cool and anti-fash, and he was like, no, I'm good with this fascist guy. I'm gonna work with him for now. The critics loved it, so I don't know if I know. First one's super good though. First Spider-Verse movie beats ass. Just watch that one. Maybe the third one will like redeem the second one for me. Oh yeah, because I was gonna say like Empire Strikes Back, okay? It's a great movie. That's fucking one of the all-timers, right? Like, it still ends. Like, it ends on a down note and everybody's very sad and they're like, what are we gonna do next? But like, it feels like the movie is over when it ends, right? They're like, oh, Luke got his hand cut off. Oh, the big reveal happened. We know there's gonna be a third movie, but we don't know what's gonna happen in it. Oh, but I mean, it's kind of sad, but we kind of got escaped. We got at least, you know, our friends are in trouble, and but the movie's like over. It like ends in a scene. It doesn't end straight in the middle of a scene. Like the scene itself, the movie doesn't end. Like it doesn't even end like in downtime. It's like to be continued by movie over. like part 1 of a part 2 Beast Wars episode or some shit. Hated that. Didn't like the movie. Yesterday, I have not seen the second Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. I was gonna watch it. Oh yeah, I did, exactly, yeah. This episode's gonna be a 2-parter, because it is, literally. I haven't watched the second one yet. That's the one of these movies I haven't seen. I will watch it eventually, I just didn't feel like it today. I'm gonna assume that it's competent. This one was competent, it's fine. But I have some thoughts about it, because I had never seen it before. And they're all on Disney Plus now, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this movie. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I did fall asleep for part of it. I probably fell asleep for, like, the best part of it, which is the part where he actually, like, gets the powers. Because, again, I was having migraines and not feeling well. But I saw most of it. I'll probably watch it again. Probably the low point of Spider-Man movies. That one, the second one isn't good. See, I figured it would probably be at least competent, but probably not as good as the first one. And the first one was kind of only okay. But I have some thoughts about it. First of all, I think these movies are the best. And it's true of the first one as well. Like, especially Spider-Man 1, okay. Spider-Man 1 is good when they're in the high school and he's doing high school shenanigans and he's getting his powers and he's, like, learning, oh man, I have spider powers now. Well, like, that whole, like, revelation arc of, like, learning your powers. It's fun in this movie, too. Like, that's the fun part of the movie. Where they're like, oh, I'm learning how to shoot webs, and I'm learning how to have super strength now, and I'm gonna go beat up the school bully, and I'm gonna play basketball, and I'm gonna get my bully revenge. Like, oh, it's really fun. It's fun to watch. But this movie, Spider-Man, also has, like, a villain of all time with the Green Goblin. So, like, when it switches to the Willem Dafoe stuff, and you've got like, fight supervillain, it's still good. You know, yeah, he did a good job at, like, being a little punk, which is nice. They tried to do it with Toby, but I feel like Toby was a little too sincere, and Andrew Garfield was a little bit more of an a-hole in a fun way. So that was kind of nice, because Spider-Man's supposed to be, like, kind of a shit talker, and it's hard to get that balance right. It's hard to get that balance right, like, in Spider-Man in general. So, like, the problem in general with Spider-Man doing the movies is that they have to fit too much shit in to a small amount of time if it's a movie. Because when I was watching this movie, I thought, you know, this would be way better if it was like a TV show like Riverdale, and they could take their sweet ass time with all this high school stuff. Because it would be really fun to just watch this character develop over a much longer period of time. Yeah, Toby tried to do shit talk, but, like, it didn't really feel like it was landing most of the time. Like, he's great with, like, the sincere kid part, but he's less, like, Garfield's a little bit more of a punk, which works. So I like that. Like, I feel like if they had more time to linger on the whole high school thing, they wouldn't have had to rush to the fight the lizard part, which was boring as shit. Because the lizard wasn't interesting. Like, he was just some sad guy who injected himself with the thing, but he was no Green Goblin. Like, the first movie, Willem Dafoe just fucking kills the role. And, like, yeah, it's so boring. The lizard is so boring. Like, he's just, oh, the lizard. Okay, whatever. So the whole third act of the movie, like, yeah, the low-level early development stuff is the fun part. Like, the fun part where he's, like, learning his powers and, like, in school and everything like that. Like, that part is fun. The first 2 acts of the movie are fun. And then he goes to fight the lizard and it's like, going back to sleep. This villain isn't interesting, and he's not doing anything interesting. I'm like, oh, I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, I followed the entire plot. Like, I'm gonna turn everybody in the city into lizards and shoot this big thing into the sky. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to go back to him just nailing purse snatchers on the street and saying funny quips. That's the fun, good part of the movie. I also have opinions about, like, okay, so the Spider-Verse movies, they have Gwen. Spider-Gwen. Not Gwenpool. It's a different character. If anybody mansplains Gwenpool to me one more time, I'm gonna shove them into a locker. The lizard stories aren't very good. Yeah, lizard's lame. Lizard's totally boring. Like, why did they go with that villain? Like, thank you, Robert. Thank you, appreciate I think so. You just bring up a nasty crime. Yeah, yeah. It should be. Hear me out. It should be like Riverdale. There should be a TV series. They had the opportunity to almost do that with Ms. Marvel, and then they fucked it up because they just decided they wanted to go straight to like this big mythos shit, and it wasn't interesting. The high school stuff was interesting. Hi, bye. Welcome. Thank you for the sub. 10 months. That's almost a year. We're staying chill. We're staying chill. I'm getting my second wind as I decided I wanted to rant about Spider-Man movies tonight because this is a spider-friendly program. And in like an hour, I'm gonna play Dead by Daylight with a crew of people that have asked my to be to play. I was gonna do Star Rail today, but then I got a literal bug up my butt. Remember the first half of the season, Save the Cheerleaders to the World? Yes! Yes! That could have been Spider-Man. First half of Miss Marvel could have been Spider-Man, and they should have just, the first half of Miss Marvel shouldn't have been the second half. They should have just done 2 of the first half and had like more high school ass shenanigans. Yeah, I just want to see like kids with drama and superpowers. I don't want to see like the supervillain stuff actually, unless it's really, really fucking good. Like what these 2 movies have going for them is like the supervillains are really good. Like, is Spider-Man? Yeah. I don't have a Japanese Spider-Man on here. Yeah, that's technically it's a Spider-Man movie. These are just like the normal ones. I don't know, like the ones since 2000, I guess. I don't have anything after 2000 on this list. Like or before 2000 on this list. But like, so here's my other thought about this. I thought so the Spider-Man verse. They have Gwen Stacy, who is like. When Jeffy Spider-Man is the coolest shit. It is actually. It's a giant robot, right? Was there a Japanese Spider-Man? There's a Japanese Spider-Man. That's a thing. Let me see if I can find a picture of Japanese Spider-Man. It's like an anime-ass Spider-Man. Yeah, here we go. Well, it's Toku. Yeah, it's Toku. This is Japanese Spider-Man. Takeya Yamashiro. It's different. It's a different Spider-Man. He's not even Peter Parker. He's Spider-Man Japanese. A whole different thing. He summons a giant robot. He has ages older than regular humans. The skill Patrick turned into 2. He can communicate with Spider-Man. Has spider sense. It's a different person. It is. That's one of the Spider-Verse characters. Japanese Spider-Man. Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's a whole different character. He's a Spider-Verse character. He's not Peter Parker. He's this guy. Takeya Yamashiro. Totally different Kai. He was telepathic messages from an alien called Gary, a vampire warlord called Professor Monster. In Spider-Man, this is a whole fucking crazy ass. Yeah. The Power Rangers are doing the Spider-Man thing. Yeah, this is absolutely bananas. No, this is this is real. This is a completely different Japanese Spider-Man. Yeah, but I didn't, that's not really a movie, it's a show. Yeah, so this should have been a teen drama. It went on for 2 seasons. And also, here's my other thought, okay? Here's my other thought. You're gonna have to bear with me on this one. This has Gwen. This has Gwen. This is Mary Jane. In the comics, there's multiple girls. They do have Betsy Braddock in the MCU, and they kind of do her just straight up, which is kind of funny because you didn't see her in the other movies. But like in the comics, there's multiple girls. So like if you don't know, this is just like very basic 101, Spider-Man 101. There's Gwen and there's Mary Jane, and it's like a love triangle. It's like a Betty and Veronica type-y dealy. So in the original, Gwen is like the good girl, and the way they did Gwen's like hair and makeup in this movie cracked my shit up. Because they make her like exactly the way she looks in the fucking 60s ass comics with the headbands and the ponytail at the same time and like super thick blusher on her cheeks and like pink lipstick. Like they made her look like the goodest gritty good girl possible in a cliche way that looked like a fucking parody of itself. I was dying. Like when he shows up at her house later and like, oh, her dad's a chief of the police because that's Gwen Stacy's deal. And like she's all dressed up like this demure little perfect sweater with her hair up And I was like, guys, what are we doing? Nobody dresses like this. This is not believable. Like, why did you do her up so bad? Like, she has a blusher on her cheeks like an inch thick. It's like, learn contouring, bitch. So that's funny. But, like, in the original story, Gwen is, like, the goody girl who's, like, the chief of police's daughter, and she's, like, all sweet, and she's all virgin. And then, like, Mary Jane's the slut. Like, she's the slut. She shows up, and she's like, hey, Tiger, looks like you just hit the jackpot. And Spider-Man is like, oh, no, I got a boner. Because she's, like, a bimbo. And they don't have the fucking balls. They don't have the balls to have a bimbo slut be the actual love interest of Spider-Man. No, but she's supposed to be like that. She's not supposed to be like the whole girl next door. That's Gwen. She's a bimbo. She's supposed to be a bimbo. That's her. She's cool. And they never do it. They are always cowards every time. Because what you should do is have Gwen be like all virgin ass, like she is in the movie, like, no, I'm gonna put on an inch of blush and a sweater that covers my entire neck. And then you should have Mary Jane be like, I'm wearing tiger print and I'm gonna bite your ears off. No one has the balls to back Betty Brant. Well, Betty Brant is in the movie, but she's Ned's girlfriend. She's Ned's girlfriend in No Way Home. And then they break up. But she's in it. And she looks the fucking same as the comics, too. Like, in case you didn't know who this character was. She's funny in it, too. Like, I think she's pretty funny. But yeah, they didn't bring her back for Spider-Man. The thing is that Spider-Man movie, they never have the balls. They never have the balls to have multiple girls. Like, it's like... we're supposed to have two love interests for Spider-Man, and they're both women, and they both have to, like, have different personalities and interests. I don't know, man. That sounds kind of hard. I don't know how to write two women who are different. Are you sure that's even allowed in a movie? It's so cowardly. Do real Mary Jane. You've done Spider-Man 3 times, and you haven't done real Mary Jane. You haven't done the real story. If they reboot Spider-Man again, which they're going to have to someday... Yeah, Felicia? Damn, they never have Felicia either. I don't know how to write a woman. Yeah, exactly. They only know how to write the same woman. They only know how to write, like, the girl next door. So, like, even though I don't hate Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movies, like, it's cute the way they do it, do you think, like, maybe the 4th time around they could just do it the way it is in the comics and stop being such cowards? Maybe. Just once. Have her be the ditzy, slutty party girl who's, like, trying to tempt Spider-Man to premarital sex. It's funny. Let her get it on, man. Let's go. Felicia, too. Yeah, they never had Felicia. Ever. I know. So I'm kind of annoyed with that. But like, if you're gonna do the good girl, like the goody girl, it's Gwen. That's like, that's the girl you do. Like, that's fine. But like, they've never done like proper MJ. And then like in the new ones, there's like Zendaya as MJ. Yeah. Let's talk about the new ones. Homecoming is fine. Yeah, it's the same What Happened Here. Yeah, I know. It's fine. What I don't love about the MCU, and it's right here in the picture. Okay, so there's some things I really, really like about this movie, actually. I really, really like the Vulture in this movie. I like the plot twist of the Vulture. Michael Keaton rules. They did a good job with the villain. I would probably say it's better than this one. I had to stack rank them. Like, I like the Vulture. What I don't like about MCU Spider-Man is the fact that they make him, like, Iron Man's sidekick. Because they kind of just got stuck with that because Iron Man was, like, their headliner. And then they were like, well, we have to have Spider-Man work with Iron Man. But I do like that at the end of this movie, he's like, I'm not going to join the Avengers because that's what happens in the comics. Like, Spider-Man is an Avenger for, like, 2 issues of the first Avengers. Yeah, sidekicks, but yeah, I hate that side. Yeah. Nobody likes that shit. Fuck it. Blech. He's got to be his own thing. I don't like the idea of him, like, being in Iron Man's shadow. That's just weird. It shouldn't be like that, but that's just the way it's got stuck. I did like the Vulture in this, though. I thought he was really good. It was like that. Also, they don't do Mary Jane. Her name is, like, Michelle Jones, and then they just call her MJ. I mean, it kind of works, because it's like a plot twist. Like, oh, it's this girl, and she's not Mary Jane, but this just seems, like, arbitrary to me to do that. I did like Homecoming because it's basically Hey Arnold Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I really like the villain in this one, especially since he's like just a guy, and it works. Like it's kind of a lower stakes movie, which I like, but I don't like sidekick Spider-Man. And then I watched this one, Far From Home, which is also like it's fine, but Madonna James, get out. Isn't her name Michelle Jones? Isn't that her character's name? Zendaya? So this movie's kind of a riot because, like, the first half of this movie, I was not on board at all. I was like, this is dumb. What's going, I don't like this. But then the drop happens where Mysterio is the villain. And then it's good after that, except for the fact that the CGI is garbage. But the CGI is, it's okay, like the CGI is... I hated the second movie, but I hated the second. Yeah, I didn't like the Stark shit. I didn't like, oh, okay, so this movie, okay. If you haven't seen this movie, here's the plot. Spider-Man goes on a field trip with his friends, and they go to Europe. And we're in Europe, they're being attacked by, like, elemental aliens from another dimension, which seems kind of dumb. And I'm like, this is kind of dumb. And Mysterio shows up. Mysterio's like, I'm Mysterio. I'm a superhero from another dimension. Now I'm going to spoiler the second half of the movie. Mysterio's the bad guy. That's not really a spoiler. You guys know that Mysterio's the bad guy. It's not really a spoiler. But but it turns out that like the second half of the movie, like Iron Man, after he died, because this takes place after Avengers Endgame. So this is like a phase 3 Marvel bad Marvel movie. Like all these shitty Marvel movies that happened after Endgame. And like, so it's after Iron Man is dead and Iron Man like left Spider-Man the keys to a world. Yeah, wasn't my completely good, trustworthy NPC quest giver? No! He's a villain in the movie. Yeah, he's a bad guy. So like, Tony Stark gave Iron Man the keys to like a drone network capable of nuking a country. And I just don't think Spider-Man should have that. I don't think that should be a thing that Spider-Man has. I think that's bad for the character to have. It doesn't work for me. I'm like, yeah, here, Spider-Man, have this surveillance network that the Illuminati will use to nuke people, bad guys from orbit. I was like, I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir. There's one scene where Happy, of course, John Favreau, Happy being... Doesn't make sense for Spider-Man to have, he's like, what, 20? Yes. He's in high school still. He's like 17. Here, have the key to all global security. You earned it, Pete. It's dumb. It's really dumb. So there's a scene where Mysterio's like, and then the Spider-Man is like, maybe I shouldn't have this global security thing. I think I'll give it to this guy who's an adult. And he gives Mysterio the keys to the global security. And then Mysterio is like, ha! I tricked you. I'm the villain. Now I have the keys to the global security network. And then you have to fight Mysterio. So that part is cool because then like the bad guy is effective and beats Spider-Man. So it's really cool. But like Mysterio's whole deal is that he's a special effects guy. So like he uses his special effects powers to like beat him up. And special effects in the movie are kind of bad. There's like a lot of scenes where they're just kind of not finished and it feels like a cartoon, but you can kind of roll with it because it's like in character in the story of the movie, it's a cartoon. So even if you know it's not really happening, it's also not really happening in the fiction of the thing. So it's like, okay, well, Mysterio didn't completely have a time to render all his textures fully. If he did another pass on that lighting, it probably would look more realistic, but like, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah, you probably were going to say somebody's described their fake on an asteroid. Yeah, I mean, obviously Tony Stark was like, I guess this kid's all right. That makes sense. But like, the CGI is kind of bad, but it's like in character bad, so it's kind of okay. So that didn't bug me that much. And it's cool that like he did all that shit. Like that was neat. But there's a part of it where like Spider-Man's stuff is all taken. Hello, how you doing? Talking about Spider-Man movies. I'm spoiling all the Spider-Man movies. So if you haven't seen them all, sorry about that. But I think most of them have been out for a while. This one's been out for years now. So, like... Oh, yeah, there's a part where he, like, loses all stuff. He doesn't have a Spidey suit anymore. And, like, Happy Hogan, you know... Oh, excuse me, hiccups. Oh, hiccups. Iron Man's guy. Iron Man's dude, whatever. Is, like, he's like talking to Pete, and Pete's like going and messing with this thing, and he's like building himself a new spider suit using the fabricator. And there's this moment where like Happy looks at him, and he has this like wistful thought, like, oh, I miss my old pal Tony. And this young guy totally reminds me of the good times with Tony. And it's just fucking weird. Like, no, Spider-Man shouldn't be like a legacy Iron Man character. That doesn't work for me. He's his own thing. Don't diminish Spider-Man by making him second Iron Man. That scene was weird. I didn't like that. I felt uncomfortable by it. They definitely shouldn't be doing that. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. And then at the end of the movie, like, it ends on a cliffhanger, just like Spider-Verse does. And that was a point where I was like, you know, I bet you one of the reasons people got exhausted with Marvel films is that they don't end on high notes anymore. They always end on, like, please go to the next movie. Every time. And Deadpool and Wolverine didn't do that. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine, like, ended. It ended. And you left the theater going, fuck yeah, I just saw a movie. And the movie ended. But all these movies didn't do that. Like, this movie didn't do that. Like, it was like, oh, then something bad happens. Not what bad. Hope you see the next movie. Like they resolved the plot, but then the end credit sequence like was a cliffhanger, like a whole cliffhanger, like, right into the next movie. And in fact, the next movie immediately starts. By the way, I hated this movie. Sorry. Immediately starts with the last scene of the previous movie. Like this is fun because like Mysterio stuff is fun, but the Tony Stark stuff is gross. So it's like I'm like kind of 50-50 on it. This one I didn't like at all. I'm sorry. I was mad that I watched it. And I was mad. Okay, so I couldn't figure out how to watch this one, and I wanted to watch it. So I was like, oh, is it on Disney Plus? No. It's not. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on. It's on Prime. Okay, it was on Prime. So I booted up Prime, and I didn't realize that it said it was $0, and I was like, oh, so it's free on Prime. But it wasn't. I just accidentally used a gift card that was on file, and I didn't mean to do that. I was screwed up, and I actually bought it using gift card money, and I didn't mean to. I just thought it was free because it was labeled funny. So I ended up buying it some account, and I didn't even mean to, and I don't even like it. I didn't like the movie. And I think what I watched was like the director's cut, and I don't know if the theatrical cut would have been less bad, because I felt like there was a lot of fan service in this movie that was just fucking awful. But the problem, okay, so first of all, a lot of No Way Home. Now, you all know the gimmick of it is that all the 3 Spider-Mans from the previous movies are in this movie, right? That's the gimmick. So, like, the gimmick is Andrew Garfield shows up, Tobey shows up. Everybody knew that by this point. Like, that was, like, in the theater, that was, like, a big, huge, scary deal. There's, like, a couple fun scenes because they get Willem Dafoe back. And they get, I forget the guy's name who did Doc Ock, but he's also super fucking good. Doc Ock. Alfred Molina, that's it. Yeah. I'm literally, like, Googling it, but I knew you guys would know. Alfred Molina, he's really good. He's fucking awesome. He's so sinister and scary, and him and Dafoe together, like, in the same movie. Mwah! Awesome. Love that. That's great. But the way they set it up is stupid as shit. So Spider-Man is like, oh, I'm gonna go. I didn't get into, he wants to get into MIT, but he didn't get into MIT, got rejected from MIT. So he's like, oh, well, what if I just ask Doctor Strange to solve my problems by casting a spell? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go talk to Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange, could you, like, make everybody forget that I'm Spider-Man? Like, sure, okay, I'll make everybody forget you're Spider-Man. Oh, except for Mary Jane and, like, my buddy Ned and, like, my Aunt May. Like, people that know. Like, I don't want everybody to know I'm Spider-Man. Because, like, at the end of this movie, Mysterio goes on the news and, like, says, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And then the whole world knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And that's the cliffhanger. And it's bad because everybody hates Spider-Man because he's like a vigilante. Because he was like Mysterio like framed him for crimes. Like, well, I don't want everybody to remember I'm Spider-Man. Well, make everybody forget that I'm Spider-Man. He's like, all right, okay, I'll cast the spell. And then he starts casting the spell, and then Spider-Man keeps interrupting. He's like, wait a minute, I want to change something. I want to change something. I want to change something. That's stupid. Because halfway through, Doctor Strange is like, wait, couldn't you have just asked the college admissions lady for a second shot? Why are we even doing this? And Spider-Man's like, oh, I don't know. I guess I could have just asked the college admissions lady. Well, okay, well, Doctor Strange, you're a whole adult. You didn't think of that either? And you're mad that he didn't think of it? And you just started casting a spell that literally affects the entire universe? Literally the universe without double checking the parameters first? That's fucking stupid. That's a stupid plot. So he casts a spell, and then, like, what happens is he pulls people who know Peter Parker's secret identity from other universes into this universe, because that's how it works, I guess. Which, alright, it's magic, whatever, a wizard did it, I don't care. But, like, it's kind of weak. So, okay, it's just an excuse to have all these guys from these other movies show up and have, like, that's okay. So, I'll accept the premise, even though it's kind of weak, and you had to make Doctor Strange really stupid for the promise to work. Like, you literally had to make him a stupid idiot for the promise to work. Okay, it's fine, whatever. But, okay, fine. So then, all these other characters come in from other dimensions, and some of them have, like, some really cool lines, like, I'm something of a scientist myself. Like, that's a pretty fun little meme. Like, that's good. So, like, I could almost, like, put it in the good for the memes category, because there's, like, a handful of good memes, except for the fact that, like, the pacing is so fucking jacked in this stupid movie. Because there's times when this movie will just grind to an absolute halt so characters can do their little interaction with each other. And I get it. Like, that's what you're here to see, right? You're here to see the Spider-Mans all talk about their Spider-Man damage together. They're gonna all compare what aliens they fought, and blah, blah. But the pacing is jacked. It feels like AO3 wrote this bullshit. I admit that I fell for all the tricks because I'm me. Yeah, I get it. Like, if you're really sentimental about this stuff, I can see where... Because I was like this with Deadpool. Like, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing the thing. But the thing is, like, with Deadpool, they didn't grind the story to a complete halt to do that stuff. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine are gonna fight each other to the death in a Honda. The only time that it slows down a little bit is that one extra scene with X-23 where I went to the bathroom. And the rest of the movie doesn't do that. I'm sorry. I did... The first time I watched the whole scene, the second time I was like, oh, this is the part where I get up and pee. I saw the movie twice. That part is sweet, and it's nice, and they, like, wanted to have that moment, and I get it. But I think they just, like, wanted to have, like, a little beat for Wolverine there to give him more character depth in that spot, so it's fine. But, like, in this one, like, the three Spider-Man just stand around and talk to each other about how they have back pain or whatever. Oh my god, is nothing happening in this movie? Please. And, like, the villains are dumb. Like, oh, all the villains show up. The fucking Lizard again, who's still boring as shit. Not interesting character. And he's gotta be there because he's in the other movie. And I didn't see the one with Electro, so, like, I don't know if Electro is good in this. But I don't understand, like, why Electro went along with Spider-Man's plan until the last minute. And then he was like, nah, never mind. Like, he had no reason to go along with him at all, at any point. And he was like, I'm gonna cure you. But I don't need to be cured. I'm literally a god. Why wouldn't he just fuck off immediately? Because it made more sense for him to just fuck... Like, it's like, I'm gonna cure you of your superpowers. And the whole plot is that, too. Like, the whole plot is, like, I'm gonna cure these guys of their superpowers, as opposed to, like, turning them to being good. I get that, like, the Green Goblin and Octopus both have, like, mental problems because of their powers. Like, Doc Ock has, like... He can keep his octo-tentacles, but the octo-tentacle robots are controlling his brain, and that's why he's crazy, so he needs to, like, have it fixed. But the other guys, he's just like, I'm just gonna take away your superpowers completely. Like, he just takes away Electro's superpowers completely. Why would Electro put up with that ever? Why would he be like, oh, that sounds like a good idea, sure, that sounds good. because he has a problem at the end where at the beginning where he's like, I'm made of electricity and I can't do stuff, so it's kind of shitty. But that gets resolved immediately. And then he's just a guy with cool powers. He's just another black electrical powers guy. Why would you just be that guy? They could have fixed this plot too. Like they could have had, like, if I accept the premise of like them having Doctor Strange teleport these guys from their dimension, like that's fine, whatever. But they could have fixed this plot by having like Electro be like, immediately, I'm not interested in being cured. We don't need to be cured. We're gods. But instead, they have him go along with it for way too long. And then Green Goblin is like, hey, you don't need to be cured. And he's like, oh, you know what? You're right. Dude, you knew that from the beginning. Because that part doesn't make any sense. And then they go to the Statue of Liberty and fight, and there's no stakes at all. I hated this movie, and I'm mad that I watched it. And I want to talk about how it ends. At the very end of the movie, they basically cast another spell. This is big spoiler. Sorry, but they kill Aunt May. And not only do they kill Aunt May, but they like have her recite the power responsibility line first. And like, I know you have to do it, but like, it's so hokey the way they do it. It doesn't flow organically at all. It's just like, we know we have to do this bit, so here we go. The dead Aunt May is miserable. Yeah, I hate that. I hated that. A lot of these guys are... Yeah, Electro was not in character, though. Like, at all. Like, he was just too stupid. Yeah, I didn't like them killing Aunt May. It was too dark. And then, like... And then at the end, like, Aunt May is dead. And Doctor Strange casts a spell and makes everybody forget Peter Parker. They don't forget Spider-Man, but they forget Peter Parker. So they know that they met Spider-Man or fought him. But they don't remember this other kid has no identity anymore. He's like a ghost. No person remembers he exists. And since he has no living relatives, he just like wanders the earth as a ghost. And that's how the fucking movie ends. It's depressing. I just don't want to go out on that note. I want to go out on like a happier end than that. But instead they're like, yeah, I guess he just wanders the earth as a hungry ghost for the rest of his life. He's able to like buy an apartment with cash, but nobody remembers who he is. And it's sad. End of the movie. Please enjoy next Marvel movie. That sounds stupid. What the fuck? I hated it. But the one thing that happened at the end of this movie is that they teased Tom Hardy's Venom because he's also he doesn't show up in the whole movie. And then at the very, very end in the after credits scene, he shows up and he's teleported and he talks about it. And so I was like, well, I haven't watched Venom yet. We're going to watch Venom. So we watched Venom on Discord on Sunday. Venom fucking beats ass. These movies rip. And it had no right to be as good as it was. But there's so much acting. I would almost say it's better than these. If this movie had so much acting in it, finally getting this exactly. You had every opportunity to have like a really cool villain team up, and it just turned out to be lame. It just ended up being lame because they didn't have any motivation at all for doing what they were doing. They're just like, yeah, our motivation is that we're bad and free. And we don't want to go back to our universe. Okay, great. That's it? You don't have like a plan? Like a scheme? You aren't doing crimes? Like, you're not trying to... We're just gonna fight these guys now. It was just a downer. Like, it was cool to have them all on screen, and then they didn't fucking doing anything. Consolidating. Well, of course they're going Connor, because of course they are, because they want all their shit to be in the same banner. Like, I get that. That makes sense to me. Why wouldn't you? Obviously, that makes total sense to me. They want to have all the Marvel Universe stuff in the same universe because this is in the comics. Like, I get that. Problem is, it's too bloated now, and they don't have any like good headliners left. Like they already kind of like when they did the Avengers. It's like, who do we pull from? Because we sold Sony. We sold Spider-Man to Sony. We sold the X-Men to Fox. What are we going to do? Well, I guess we'll just do an Iron Man movie. And then it turned out to work, which is kind of a crazy gamble if you think about it. Like, nobody fucking knew who Iron Man was when they did the Iron Man movie. Now everybody knows who Iron Man is. I can chart the timeline from people like, no, yeah, they're still writing it. Yes, because who is gonna be an Avenger? Who's left? Thor. That's it. Who's left? Thor. You can't have Spider-Man because you totally screwed him over. Like, you could have him in the Avengers, I guess, but like he's not really a classic Avenger anyway. So that kind of doesn't work. And Wanda, you killed her off, even though she's a classic Avenger, so she's toast. Killed Black Widow off. You killed Iron Man off. You killed Captain America off. You don't have anybody, and then accidentally Black Panther, which that's just sad. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen. But you don't have Black Panther. So, like, who do you have? Who's an Avenger? You have like nobody. And you're gonna do another Avengers movie? I just don't, there's no Avengers left. I don't know. I don't trust it. It doesn't work for me. We need to learn how to these movies and lower the scope. Yeah, they just don't know what to do. This Venom beats ass. This movie rules. No notes. It didn't have any right to be as good as it was, especially since it's a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man in it. But it's just because Tom Hardy is so fucking good in this movie. And he plays both parts, too. He's Venom and Eddie. And he's just a fucking disaster trash mess the entire film. And it's so queer and weird and awesome. I didn't expect to like his girlfriend in this as much as I did. And then Venom's like, yeah, I like Annie. She's good. He gets to stay. And then Venom 2 also beats ass. They're both really good. They both beat ass. And he doesn't even learn lessons. Yeah, he doesn't. Nobody grows. Like, people grow and change in the sense that they've become aliens. But they don't, like Eddie Brock does not learn any lessons or change or become a better person. He starts out a shitlord and he stays a shitlord the whole movie. It owns. He's the most losery sumbitch. Nobody learns a lesson. Nobody gets better except Venom. Venom learns that sometimes you shouldn't kill people, but sometimes it's okay. He still kills a lot of people. I'm surprised, honestly, this movie got a PG-13 because some people get their heads bit off in this movie. A lot of us watched it on the Discord, so we're all talking like we just saw because we did just see it. But if you haven't seen Venom and Venom 2, these movies beat ass. But the pacing is like so much better than No Way Home. Like the pacing in No Way Home. Oh, another thing I want to talk about with Far From Home and No Way Home, like these movies. Okay, so like Zendaya and Tom Holland be fucking. Like, sorry to be vulgar about it, but like those two were during these movies were like an item, and they were an item. Like but the chemistry is just not on the screen in the movies. So like you can tell that they're like a thing, but like in the movie they have to make it so PG that it feels like a kid's movie. When if you know that was not like they're whole adults. They're adults playing high schoolers. Yes! Yes! I have seen! Yes! MJ isn't allowed to be... Exactly. MJ is not allowed to be MJ. And so I said that earlier. You might have missed my rant earlier, Beard, when I started talking about MJ. But she's not allowed to do MJ shit. She's not allowed to be a big flirt. She's not allowed to be a cock tease. She's not allowed to do any of the MJ slut stuff, which makes her cool and fun. Because she has to be like the smart, nerdy, relatable, quirky, adorkable girl. And it bugs me. Because they could have had, like, they had actual, those two people, the actors, were an item during the filming of these movies. And they could have had more chemistry on screen. But they didn't have enough chemistry on screen because it was so PG-13ified that they were like, let's do some chaste hand-holding. It just sucks because, like, you know that's not what was happening at all. So it's dumb. Wants to be super safe and like riding around somebody so enough. Yeah, it was so funny. So you guys know my mom is like me. Like my mom and dad are both right. They're both like chill. So like she's like, yeah, I liked Deadpool, but don't you think they turned down the sex a lot in the third movie? I was like, yeah, Mom, you're right. They did. You think Disney made them clean that part up a little bit? I was like, yeah, you're right. They probably did. Because my mom is one of those people that's like, when is this movie gonna have a sex scene? Why don't they have sex scenes in movies anymore? It's like I'm the same way. Oh, yeah, I know. Like there's like Mary Jane and Gwen, like OG Gwen, because we were talking about this on Discord the other day too. Like OG Gwen has so much depth as a character, and Mary Jane has so much depth as a character, and they never ever get to be interesting in movies. They always have to be like one-dimensional in movies. Like Zendaya's character is the deepest that MJ's ever been, and it's because she's also gets to be a little bit smart. She's a little clever. She's a tricky. She figures him out. She's clever. Okay, I think that's your one note. Like you get to have 2 personality traits this time, Mary Jane. Yay! What if we wrote a whole fucking character? That seems hard, especially if it's a woman. I don't know how to write a woman. Yeah. Blech. Her father's abusive. Yeah, no, they never do that. They never do it. I'm telling you, man. Riverdale Spider-Man. Do a whole TV show. Right? Okay? I knew this was gonna take a long time. I knew it because we're gonna do it every day like a half an hour. I have to talk about the rest of the game. Although I'm almost done. There's only a couple more to talk about. I think that's it. Morbius. Morbius is like good for memes. Morbius is a fucking this was not on the list. I had to add it. I haven't seen Madam Web yet. But we're gonna try to. I don't have a access to. I'm gonna try to find Madam Web somehow. I'm sure I'll find it. I know Scrub Fiend watched it on her server at some point, so I want to watch Madam Web if I can, because it looks really, 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 really bad. It looks terrible. It looks fucking awful. I want to watch it. I have a feeling it's the worst of all of these movies. And that I won't even like it ironically the way I like Morbius. But I like Morbius ironically. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. People are like, no, it's not even good. You don't even like it ironically. Yeah, I like it ironically. I think it's funny. Morbin time. Jared Leto's a huge creep. But one of the things that I've always wanted to say about Morbius, and if we watch Morbius, they don't say it in the movie. They like ice cream like every child should. Yeah, exactly. They don't say it in the movie. But the disease that they have is real. I talked about this before. The disease they have is real. So like in the movie at the very beginning, when him and the other kid, Matt Smith, have sex. Just the greatest scene in any movie of all time. They have sex scene. I've watched it like 1,000 times. It's never not funny every fucking time. Oh. When he said it's morbid time and he morbs all over those guys, that disease they have is real. It's like, it's not like you have to get all of your blood changed out, but you have to get regular transfusions. Because I have the half trait version of it. So there's a full trait version and a half trait version. And it's called Mediterranean anemia. They're both Greek. Like that's like, they're Greek characters. Like it's a Greek disease. Like that is scientifically fucking accurate to that point. Like it's a real thing you can have. Where you need to have your blood replaced. And they're sick because they have the Mediterranean anemia, so they need to have their blood replaced. Like, it's like slightly fictionalized, but really not that much. Because if you have it as a kid, like you won't live past like age 10 unless you get regular blood transfusions. But if you have the half trait, which is what I have, you're mostly okay, except this week. But like, you're mostly okay if you have the half trait. But like, you have to be mindful of it because it's like anemia. It's like a bad anemia. It's doable. It's like, it's manageable, mostly with diet and like supplements and shit. You can't take like regular supplement pills because it doesn't, your blood, it's a problem. The problem isn't that your body doesn't have enough iron. The problem is that your body can't absorb iron unless it's from a blood-borne source. Or heme, which is the liquid that you get that comes off of meat. So you can't absorb iron from pills or from just ingesting it like raw. It has to be like piggybacked onto something living for you to get the nutrient that you need to survive. Which is why I'm a vampire. Because I have that thing. So when they have this movie, and like Morbius has that in the movie, he has the acute version, which means you don't drink blood, you have to have it transfused as like a kid. And then just like for the rest of your life, you have to like get blood. So they're like, we need a cure for our disease, and then they become vampires. But like, if that part's the fiction part, but the actual disease is real. So yeah. So aside from that, I have a soft spot for Morbius because it's like a thing I kind of get. I get it. Not completely. I don't have the acute disease where I was gonna die or anything, but like, it's not fun to need blood. So that's like relatable. I don't know. Hashtag relatable vampire problems. Well, that's Morbius. But it was also just a funny ass meme movie. Like, I'm still on Morbius Discord. I don't post. I just like to have the emotes. Because we're morbing all the time out there. Morbing 24/7. Where all my morb heads at. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know if they're actually going to make Morbius 2. Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. And then these are all dupes. And for some reason, they have doubles in this tier list, and I don't know why. But that's all the Spider-Man movies. Now, they're going to do a Kraven the Hunter movie at some point. I had to kill for a quest, and I was going to call him. I wanted some Morbin time. I got a Morb. Yeah, I have the Morbs. At some point, they're going to do a Kraven. Is that the next one they got queued up? That's going to be fucking awful. Were there plans to do any other ones? Because they've never done Kraven on screen, I don't think. I think that's it. I think it's the next Spider-Man movie. But yeah, the Venom movies beat ass. Extremely good. Or they keep moving movies to this character no one gives a shit about. Because they bought the license and they don't know what to fucking do. Like, nobody cared about Morbius. Who cared? Nobody cared about Madam Web. Why would you even? Why would you even? And she just... Like, I haven't seen this movie, but I know that they completely changed her very limited character as it was. Like, why don't you just do the black... do the Felicia Hardy movie. You know what I'm talking about. Madam Web could be good, but you need an absolute freak writer to do it. Well, the whole thing with Madam Web is, like, can't she see the future? So doesn't it, like... Isn't it kind of not really good, like, your pro tag can see the future, like... Makes 6 Spider-Man multiverse give remember all you means. Yeah, right? It's weird. She's supposed to be like a oracle that predicts... I don't know. I've heard that Peter Parker is, like, born in this movie because it's also, like, a period piece. So it's, like, set in the early 2000s or something. Is that right? And then he gets, like... They're fucking weird. You can just think of get someone who's not a coward. Yeah, but obviously they were a coward. You don't think it's Peter, you gotta do this eventually. Yeah. Yeah. She's like a mentor type character. And they decided to, like, give her her own movie. I think poor Dakota Johnson thought she was, like, going to be in the MCU. And then psych, she was actually in the fake Sony Spider-Man universe that doesn't have Spider-Man in it anymore because he's in the MCU. She got owned. It's like, God damn it, I was in 50 Shades of Grey. That wasn't good either. Now I'm in this dog shit. Oh, God, it's terrible. It's so rude. Because somebody can't actually say his name. Yeah, look, I want to watch this. I haven't seen this. I know pretty much the entire plot of it, though. And, like, it's all, like, 80 to death and everything. I'm just so excited to... Is it meeting Stan Lee in another universe? That's whack. That's wild. Stan Lee. You can't cameo anymore. Dead. They're making Marvel movies. Yes, they're doing Kraven. I know that. I don't know what else they're doing. Morbius 2. Because Morbius was such a slam dunk smash hit success that they have to do another Morbius movie. For the kids. remember when they released Morbius? And it was in the theaters? And nobody saw it, they took it out. And then everybody was like, no, wait, no, we love Morbius, put it back in the theaters. And then they put it back in the theaters. And nobody saw it a second time. That's the funniest grift that the internet ever pulled on a studio. Like... Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. They could have had Madam Web instead of Doctor Strange. They could have had Madam Web do the No Way Home shit. Instead of making Doctor Strange into a complete fucking idiot to make that plot work. Instead of making Doctor Strange into the dumbest rube imaginable, they could have had Madam Web show up. At least then somebody else would have taken the fall for all the stupid shit that happened. I kind of like Multiverse of Madness. I mean, it was all like fan service too, but at least it was Sam Raimi fan service. At least he's had some Sam Raimi ass shit in it. And they fucking killed Wanda, so no more Avengers. She tells me about someone doing he really fucks up, so it isn't her fault. Yeah, there we go. You can have a smart Madam Web show up. Be like, Pete, you gotta do this and this and that. And then he'll be like, okay, Madam Web, and then he doesn't do it right at all. That could work just fine. Yeah. So that's my tier list. And like I have to apologize for hating these two movies, but I really did hate these two movies. I think I hated this one more. Even though like I think it did pretty well like in the theaters, because it was just a nonsense story, and this is also a nonsense story. Both these were nonsense stories. Like, okay, first of all, like both of these movies had the same vibes, which is like a nonsense story to cram in as much fan service as possible. But I still liked Deadpool and Wolverine, so, even though it's the same. But I do think that like the pacing of Deadpool and Wolverine. But first of all, like I like Spider-Man a normal amount. Obviously, I like him a lot. I think Spider-Man is good. I like spiders. But I like Deadpool beyond a normal amount. Like that's my guy. That's my man. So, like, I was gonna like that better anyway. But I do just think it's a better movie. It's a better movie because the pacing is better, the writing is better. It fucking ends as opposed to just being like, well, everything is horrible now forever. Goodbye. It just has like a happy ending. Everybody like feels good at the end, and then there's a song and then dance number. And this is true, like they wouldn't, like Ryan Reynolds wouldn't let them do a cliffhanger ending. Like Disney wanted to, and he was like, no, we're not doing that. We're just ending the fucking movie. So the post-credits scene is just a shit post instead of like a whole like leading into something thing. Like they still tease the Avengers movie coming up, like by having like that Thor he holds me bit. Like in the movie where Deadpool's like, Thor, he holds me. Why is he crying? Like that's something, right? Like they're teasing something. But they didn't make the end of the movie be a cliffhanger where you don't feel like you watched a complete movie because now you don't know what's going to happen next, and like you feel, because I think that when these movies end like on cliffhangers like this, I feel like it ruins the experience a little bit. Like even if you felt good up to that point and felt satisfied, when it ends on the most downer note imaginable, you walk away sad instead of, and not even like a good cathartic sad, like I had a good cry, but I know if things are gonna grow and change. Wasn't that literally the shot? Yeah. It's literally the Love and Thunder. Yeah. It's a joke. Like, it's a bit. So yeah, it's just a downer. Yeah, it's not even a cliffhanger. It's just a downer. It's just a shitty downer. And you don't want to leave a movie feeling like shit. It was the shot with Deadpool put in, but like, the joke is funny because he keeps calling back to it over and over again. Every time he, like if you notice, like in the movie, every time he falls asleep, he wakes up, he's like, Thor! Oh, shit. Like, he's having erotic dreams about Thor the entire film. It's great! They wouldn't let him, like, do a teaser at the end. It was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to just end the movie. No fucking cliffhanger. Yeah, right? Well, that's canon, though, too. Like, isn't there a panel of Deadpool being, like, trying to flirt with Thor and just being awkward? Like, I find you very attractive. Because he's just losing his spaghetti because he's trying to talk to Thor. That's great. I think I have to find that one. I'm sure I have it somewhere. But yeah, he just can't. After the down and entering No Way Home was at least they got Spider-Man. Yeah, that's true. Like, at least they blasted him back down to street level where he wasn't like, I have the drone army now. You're sickos. Like, oh, thank God he's not a Tony Stark legacy character anymore, at the very fucking least. Like, you can still do stuff with him because he's still Spider-Man. So you can have him be, like, doing Spider-Man shit. You know. I just don't know where they're taking the MCU at this point, guys. Like, what are they gonna do with... Man, they sure didn't need to kill Aunt May. They sure didn't. They sure didn't need to kill Aunt May. It sucks that they did that because, you know, Spider-Man, like, would do pretty much anything to not have Aunt May die, but... Yes, I guess she's dead. Wow. Spider-Verse movies from 2000 on. I love that. Get that image. Edit it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I think the MCU is toss out this phase shit. Yeah. Not really working for me. I don't know what they're doing next. I don't know what's next. Who knows? I didn't save the file. Can I save the file? There we go. That time I saved it. My image top ping. Gotta have that amount of web. I haven't seen it yet. It probably is just gonna be bad. I don't think this movie's like even good for the memes. I think it's just shitty. The question is, will I hate it more than I hate these two? Which, I don't know, man. I mean, this might just be just like fucking terror bad. But at least it won't be disappointing because I'm going in knowing it's gonna be bad. But isn't that what they say in No Way Home? If you expect disappointment, then you'll never be disappointed. Mary Jane says that, or fucking Michelle Jones, whatever, fuck ever, says that, and she's like, you expect disappointment, you'll never be disappointed? I'm expecting to be disappointed. Or was she trying to get me prepared for how bad her movie was gonna be? All this phase shit, yeah, it's garbage. So now we got Tony Stark, Doctor Doom happening. All right, let me ping Josh real quick. So we are gonna do Dead by Daylight. I've never played it. I don't know how to play Dead by Daylight. But I got invited to learn, so I'm gonna learn new things today. I stopped keeping up with it because it's so bad as a conversation about getting to watch. Yeah, this is what happened to everybody. This is why people stopped seeing Marvel movies. It's not even, you know, you'll have people show up and be like, well, they made it woke because they made it all the women and minority characters, the power characters, and we just want to see our legacy heroes. That's not even the reason. That's not the reason. Because you can make a perfectly good movie about any of these characters. The problem is they made it too hard and confusing to follow what was going on. Because if you wanted to go see the Marvels, which nobody did, they just no did, you also have to know who these characters are from WandaVision and Ms. Marvel, Winter Soldier, the show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It wasn't good. I watched it and didn't like it. Unless you mean Captain America Winter Soldier. Because that's a movie, right? I can't even fucking keep track. The show? No, it's not good. I didn't like it. It's boring. Yeah, no, it wasn't good. It's boring. It's a boring show. I can barely remember what happens in it. There's like 2 fun scenes in it. And that's it. And then the rest of it's just a big block of fucking nothing. No, it's not worth watching. WandaVision was good. WandaVision was good, except Agatha doesn't make any sense if you look at it in retrospect. Like, what was her plan? She just kind of shows up and is evil, but it's not ever clear why or what she was trying to do. And now she's gonna have her own show, so yay. Hooray! It was good except for a lot of the end, and then was made retroactively worse. Yeah, basically. The end didn't make any sense. And, like, then they made Wanda into the bad guy in Multiverse of Madness, which was fine, because that movie was also kind of good, but, like, it kind of used up Wanda completely. And she wasn't good in it. She was just, like, a force of nature. But she is like that, so, like, kind of get it. But, like, the problem is, like, you kind of can't do Wanda, but you kind of have to do Wanda. Because, like, she's an original Avenger, but she's also Magneto's daughter, so they had to retcon her being Magneto's daughter because they didn't have the rights to Magneto. the Quicksilver was her brother, but then Quicksilver isn't her brother. And so she's a mutant, but she's not actually a mutant. And that's fucking annoying. Because of all the rights shit that happens. So they had to retcon a whole bunch of stuff about her. But you need too much to make Wanda work that they can or won't use. Yeah, basically. Like, because she's too much, there's too much to her, like, whole backstory that they can't do they couldn't use because they need Magneto. They didn't have Magneto. And Magneto's, like, a super good character. But to make Wanda the character that she needs to be, you have to have her be, like, there's, like, just so much tangled up in her. And the Sam Raimi-ness is good. Yes! Right. Yeah. So, like, yeah, that movie's kind of mid, but I did like the visuals and stuff of it. I've not watched Quantum Mania. It just looks like trash, and every bit I've seen of it looks like trash, and I just don't want to ever watch it. And I haven't watched the Marvels. I heard it was kind of mid. I heard it was fine, but, like, again, like, nobody went to see it because they were like, I don't want to have to keep track of these side characters from these shows. And I think that's what people burned out on, was just the fact that they didn't know what was going on anymore. Because, like, it used to be you would go to these movies and be like, ooh, get hyped for the next movie, right? Like, but now it feels like the movie I just watched wasn't a complete movie. It was like a half movie. You know how much culture war piss in the water? Yeah, that's the other thing. People are such... I can go back to my chatting room. People are such, like... Oh, is it woke? Is it not woke? I don't know. Like, I'm dealing with this, like, Black Wukong right now. And I don't know when we're starting gaming, so I'm just gonna babble for longer, but... Like... I watched Doki Bird play Black Wukong last night. It looks fine. It seems like a decent, I don't know, 7 out of 10 game. But, like, I know it's blowing Steam up right now, and I think it's just blowing Steam up because of China, because it's China's, like, cultural story that is really meaningful and special to them. And it's kind of something that I, as a dirty American, will just never fucking get. Like, I just don't really get... Like, it's not as important to me, you know? Like, so I just won't ever feel that strongly about it, like, as a mythos. So that you're left with, like, game seems fine. But I've noticed this trend of, like, Stellar Blade was like this, where it's not really a Dark Souls and it's not really a DMC. This monkey's going 8. Yeah. It's not really a Dark Souls and it's not really a DMC. Because it's not really about, like, the stylish combat. You don't, like, get scored on your skill set. You're not, like, trying to grind ranks or anything like that. But it's also, like, it's a Neo, yeah, and I've never played Neo. But it seems like what they're doing is they're making these games that are like Neo, which I haven't played, but I'm gonna take your word for it. That's, like, the patient zero of this style of game. And people are looking at them and going, oh, it's a Souls-like. But it's not a Souls-like. Because the Souls-like has that difficulty, but it also has, like, penalty for dying that these games don't have. So, like, Black Wukong, there's no, like, even Doki was like, is there any penalty for dying at all? And there isn't. You just try again. Which is different from a Souls-like where you have to, like, go back and find your corpse, like, in old EverQuest. So that... But then, I guess, like, Sekiro is a Souls-like, and it doesn't have the corpse thing. So, like, there's some kind of dividing line between what is and isn't a Souls-like. But, like, Wukong is not a Souls-like. It's an action game with a monkey man. And a Cup who has a bunch of different stances. It's not Dark Souls, because Dark Souls has more specific mechanics than that. It has, like, RPG stuff that Wukong doesn't seem to have. It's more like a skill tree. It's like a Dark Souls light. Like a Souls Light. Is that a thing? Is Souls Light a thing? Rogue Light is a thing, right? Can we have Souls Light? I don't know. Neo is closer to Souls than the rest of the Neo line. You've heard that term, actually? Yeah, maybe that's what it is, then. I know it's not the hard and fast line, but I don't really think Wukong is a Souls-like because it doesn't have it's not brutal enough. Like, a Souls-like is more brutal. And the only Souls-like I've actually played is Elden Ring, which I need to get back to at some point because it's really fun and I would really enjoy playing more of it, but I got distracted by other things, as I often do. as I very often do. Yeah, so I think that's spot in the sea where character action and Souls-like are mingling. Yeah, it's kind of like right in it's the Neo Souls-like place to live of game. I don't know. I would like to. I don't know. But the point that I'm making is like, I'd like to play the game eventually. But I tweeted a little bit about it because there was this thing. There's this rumor going around, which I don't. It's not that this was debunked, but I guess it was like one publisher's helper assistant sent out this really weird thing that was like, don't say any feminist propaganda while you're playing this game or something weird like that. But not everybody got that memo, but some people I guess did. So there was some confusion and misinformation about whether the publisher was like limiting political speech surrounding the game, like weird shit like that. And I was like, is this real? I'm not sure this is real. And then I was like, I don't know if I want this drama. I don't know if I want to play this game and just deal with the drama. I don't know if I want the drama of this one. Like, I was willing to step in the Stellar Blade drama because, like, if the drama is that the girl is too hot, then oh no, not a hot girl with a fat ass. I can't believe I have to look at this hot girl. I'm so mad about it. But when the drama is like an actual culture war, like, is it racist? Is it sexist? Is it, I don't know. It just felt like it was a little bit, that was a spicy meatball. I don't want to deal with it, especially for a game that I wasn't, like, the thing is, like, I do want to play a game with a hot babe in it, and I pretty much enjoyed Stellar Blade just on the merits of, like, decent combat, hot babe. Okay, cool. But I don't really care about the monkey that much. Like, I get the Chinese really care about the monkey, but I don't really care about the monkey. So for me, it's like, if you're gonna make me choose between, like, a hot babe and a monkey, I'm gonna go with the hot babe. Right? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the monkey. It doesn't, I'm not jumping up and down to do it. So it's like, I'll play it someday. But I have a lot of games to play, you know? So this is feeling like a game I pick up on sale someday and, like, well, yeah, it's a decent 7 out of 10. If they give a sale. Okay, I can trust over 10 minutes, okay. Yep. I'm gonna jump onto this Discord. This other Discord. There's absolutely no rush. We're gonna switch to Dead by Daylight at some point. And I'm gonna learn how to play it. I bought Dead by Daylight a long time ago. I bought it when they dropped Heather Mason in the game because if you're making me choose between Heather Mason and, and a monkey or whatever. I love Heather Mason is the point I'm making. I think Heather rules. Heather is my fucking bitch. So I just bought it just because I wanted to be her. But then I played the tutorial yesterday and they make you be some nerd. So I was like, I don't want to be this nerd. I want to be Heather. So I didn't finish the tutorial. I'm so like that. I'm so like that. Like, if I don't want to be a guy, I just stop playing the game. If I don't like the guy they make me be, I'm done. I don't even care what the gameplay is. I'm just like, I don't want to be this guy. He sucks. He's boring. I want to be Heather. You watch the thing? Yeah, no problem. Go eat. Go watch the thing. I don't know how much I'm going to be streaming. Maybe a couple hours. I'm not going to be up super late. I'll be up a reasonable lateness, but not like super late. So pushed to that. I want to say we don't want anyone boil our piss in a particular direction, but they said it too spicy and then the piss boils. Listen. Yeah, it's so exhausting. It's always funny too, like usually when you like turn over the rock and see what the actual problem is, it's usually nothing. It's usually a giant nothing burger. Usually just like, oh, somebody said a mean thing. A word. Honestly, like, one of the challenges in unfiltering this Black Wukong drama, too, is the fact that it's in Chinese. And, like, when somebody makes a post in Chinese, I have to trust somebody's translation of what the post says because, you know, and there's some people that, like, will translate accurately, and there's some people who just Google Translate and be like, oh, this says something really evil. Google Translate told me so. And it's like, well, it might be missing cultural context, but damned if I know. I don't know. I can't really jump to conclusions. So I tweeted a little bit about it. And then I tweeted, never mind, I don't know what's true about this. And then I just decided, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it at all. I'm not that invested. Maybe that makes me, like, you know, if I decided I wanted to go really hard in and like research it and like learn all about what's going on with it and make a big long video, I could do that. And it might be like interesting content. But I would want to be smart about how I did that. I wouldn't want to just go half-cocked on that because I feel like it's better to do your research and know what you're talking about. Which would have to mean playing the game. And that would have to mean like investing time in playing the game. And I don't know if I feel like doing that right now. But there's so many other games to play. Oh, I want to go back to playing Midnight Suns. Because that was pretty funny. So if I stream on Thursday, it'll probably just be like some Final Fantasy or Star Rail. I was going to do Star Rail today, but changed my mind. But if I don't stream on Thursday, then I'll probably not stream until next week. It's because of health stuff. We're going to find out how we're doing here. Alright, I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. Potty break. And then we're going to boot up. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done any of the new content. And I'm letting the new chick pass me by. Yeah. But Ariat says it's actually really good. Ariat says the March stuff is good. And there's still like 2 weeks left on the limited time rewards on that, so it's not a huge rush. So maybe I'll knock it out this weekend. If I have the strength to stream it, I'll stream it. If I don't, then I guess I won't. I don't know. This depends on how I feel, health-wise. You'll find out more about that in the coming days as I get my shit together and figure out what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. I gotta work on my new outfit, too. I have to finish my rig. My new outfit. It is totally not done. The art's done. Just my rigging part isn't. And that's the part I have to do. Which involves work. For me.